Right, your Geordie journos. Isn't the best light here, but I'll give you a little sort of a flash of the stadium here. Is what's behind it, because we're being kicked out. We're being kicked out of the Parc de France after some less than hospitable hosts here who not only, I mean, first world problems, they didn't exactly feed with, did they? And they've also been quite rude. How would you describe it? Rude is the key word, yeah. Rude in kicking everybody out, quite aggressive and unnecessarily so in their approach. I think there's a few other journalists who have had the rough-handed approach from these divvies here at Paris Saint-Germain. That'll not get struck off on YouTube, will it? No. Nah, divvy. A bunch of divvies, these lot. Right. I'm only joking, Right. Emotions are running high, probably, actually, after that game. I'm going to say my little bit, lads, before I bring you two in on your thoughts on what we've just witnessed here. I'm proud as punch. I genuinely am. There was 11 lads who went out on that park today and dared to dream. They tried to do what many said was almost impossible. This PSG team hadn't lost a Champions League group game since 2004 at home here at the stadium, and nobody expected Newcastle United to come here and do it, and they came within a whisker, within a ridiculous VAR decision of doing what many said was impossible. And I really couldn't be prouder. I think the overriding emotion most people have in the aftermath of this match is disappointment, a low feeling. I think you could sense that from Eddie Howe's press conference and the interviews that he did with the likes of TNT after the game. But for me, I think that will soon evaporate and there will be a real sense of pride. 11 lads, I'm going to repeat that again, 11 lads went out there on the park wearing black and white, wearing the famous old badge right next to the heart, and put everything, the heart and soul, and left everything out on the park here behind me, where we've been unceremoniously kicked out of, and I could not be prouder of them. At what cost it's come, I really don't know, and I think we'll only find out on Saturday night against Manchester United. But lads, first I'll come to you, Dom. Immediate emotions and thoughts on the performance and the key moments in the game.
Yeah, I think really quite a sapping, emotionally sapping game it was, because Newcastle were hanging on so well in that second half. There were so many chances. Nick Pope made a plethora of really good saves, hit the side net in PSG, hit it over the bar, and you just thought, just as you thought, Newcastle are going to clinch a really famous, iconic, probably the best ever result away from home in the Champions League. Certainly up there with the Feyenoord win 20 years ago. Just gets snatched away from it at the end, and seemed like the only way PSG could score. Dodgy penalty at the end. We'll have our own thoughts, I guess, on whether it was a penalty or not. I think we'll be fairly unanimous though in what happened, and then Kylian Mbappe doesn't miss from 12 yards. So yeah, really disappointed, but the sentiment has to be just what the 11 players on the pitch. Eddie Howe made no substitutions tonight. He couldn't really afford to be honest, because there was nothing on the bench that could change the game, and it would have almost put the fly in the ointment, where Newcastle was so tightly wound defensively and so well set up to limit PSG. And even when PSG got round the back of them, just couldn't quite get the shot away. It was a monumental defensive display and just got undone in the end through a dodgy penalty. And we spoke yesterday about how did Newcastle fluke their 4-1 win against PSG. The accusations from the French media, well, PSG fluked a 1-1 draw with Newcastle tonight, in terms of, okay, they had a lot of chances, their expected goals was through the roof, but dodgy penalty is what gets them the point at the end of the day, and now they're in the driving seat to qualify for the last 16, which makes it even more frustrating. But positive, silver lining, Newcastle are still in the competition with a game to spend. Yeah, I really like that sentiment. That's the thing, that the dream is still alive. I talk about them daring to dream. Sorry, me and Jordan are putting funny faces here because we're getting some strange looks off people walking past us. I don't think I've ever seen 3 boys in a selfie stick outside a stadium before. Right, Jordan, your thoughts?
Yeah, sorry, I just saw that put a smile on my face because I was actually really upset before this. These blokes are staring us out as I walk past my iPhone. Yeah, you mentioned the penalty decision there. It's just a shame because it's spoiled what would have been an unbelievable result for Newcastle United. I don't want to dwell on the penalty. It was a disgusting decision. UEFA rules will back that up. It was wrong, and it's cost Newcastle. But yeah, Liam, you spoke out earlier about, you know, the lads on that pitch. There's 11 lads out there who played the full 90 minutes, didn't have any options off the bench, and they put their bodies on the line. They put everything into that, and to come out, in many ways, I don't know about you guys, it does feel like a little bit of a defeat, but it won't in a couple of days' time when the dust settles. But at this moment in time, it does feel like a little bit of a defeat, and they didn't deserve that. Newcastle didn't deserve to draw that game today. They fully deserved to win, and yeah, to not come away with that, it's a bit of a pill to swallow, to be honest. As I say, the performance, extraordinary. But probably one of the best I've witnessed from a Newcastle United side in terms of the occasion, the stadium, the calibre of opposition. To come here when, as you mentioned earlier, no one gave them a chance. I don't think even we give them a chance, to be honest. If we're being brutally honest, we didn't expect Newcastle to get a result here today, but they have. And look, maybe it probably brings a little bit of confidence out of that AC Milan game, because the one thing to really emerge from today is, okay, it's not in their hands now, but you know, if they beat AC Milan, they could quite easily find themselves in the last 16, because they've got a better PSG's result, and PSG have got to go to Borussia Dortmund, who, okay, have qualified now, but are also competing to finish top of the group, which will obviously be a favourable draw for them in the last 16. So maybe there is perhaps a positive to come from this in the next game. The positive, of course, is that they've played against a really top-class opposition and deserve to come away with a win. But as I say, when Newcastle hosts AC Milan in a few weeks' time, perhaps we'll look back at this point as a very, very credible point, because it could almost say Newcastle in the last 16 of the competition, but we'll have to wait and see. But as I say, performances as a whole, outstanding. I share the sentiment, Liam. I'm really proud of the players. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it was just one of those nights. Newcastle didn't quite get the result that the performance and everything deserved. And one thing that I kind of want to say about this team before we go on to some of what Eddie Howe said after the game, and before we talk about maybe some individual performances from the game as well, as we've got more spectators. All right, yeah, more spectators. I don't think anybody's seen anybody do this before. Is YouTube a thing in France? Maybe, I don't know. Look, this team for me, some weird people about. We've never had anything like this on the Geordie Journals. This is a new experience for us. You might have caught Alan Pardew sneaking into our live earlier, and a French journalist almost taking the phone off us to get involved and praise Newcastle United, actually. But yeah, it's gone from the bizarre to the even more bizarre here as we stand outside the stadium. Where was I going? Yeah, no, look, I'm not one to ever really dwell too much on the man who can't be named, who used to own this football club. But you just have to go back to then, and we talked about a team who, we just wanted a team that tried, and we wanted a team that put everything in. It didn't matter whether we won or not. We just wanted to see a Newcastle United team to be proud of. That's the thing that's going to be the overriding feeling for me with this, with Eddie Howe, is that he's put a team of lads out on the pitch consistently who not only do we're proud in terms of results, but do we're proud in terms of the performance that they put in. They just leave everything out there. This team for me is everything that everybody ever wished for. And yes, of course, they didn't quite get what they wanted tonight, but I think everyone can forgive that because they put everything into it, and you can't ask for any more than what we've seen out there. Right, Dom? Who are your... Well, Eddie Howe, I suppose. What did you feel Eddie Howe did? In some ways, I think we've gone from, again, the likes of Arsenal manager, who we probably won't name as well, showing himself up with a VAR decision. Eddie Howe was very different in his approach today. Yeah,
and it's to be expected. Eddie Howe's very classy when he speaks to the media, very reserved at times as well. And Eddie Howe was clever in the way he made it so clear his thoughts on the decision and what he perceived, and the fact he saw the replay slowed down, and he said that makes it look worse than it is, and things like that, and how he thought, obviously, the ball hits Tino Livramento's chest first, so he explained why he didn't think it was a penalty, but then went on to say he thought the referee had a good game. He wasn't disrespectful or didn't hit out at VAR at all. He actually talked about the PSG players surrounding the referee a little bit. I asked him about that. He said they did it so many times you almost expected one of the decisions, law of averages, would go in the home side's favour. And yeah, he just said at the end of the game that you can complain, you can be frustrated, but he has to keep his emotions in check and almost bite his tongue because he doesn't want to get in trouble. And yeah, he made his opinions very clear without saying actually his clear frustration, making his frustrations with the referee.
I've no idea what he's
Sorry,
saying.
I'm being spoken to. So I'm trying to.
What did he say?
I thought he used a swear word there.
Did he?
It sounded like he said something.
Demonetised. But
he's not stopping the Geordie journals. Some
we need
dafty.
to keep going now. We need to prove these guys wrong.
Yeah, don't swear. Don't swear.
yeah, but I think I sort of wrapped up my point there, where Eddie Howe just basically held his tongue while also clearly saying his thoughts on it, and then he just didn't dig out the referees in the way some of their managers have done this season.
Come on then, Jordan, pick out your key performers before we're probably rudely interrupted again by some French hospitality here.
Well, if only got people to see the front of my, or the back of my phone here, people are staring at me. But anyway, we'll fight on. We'll fight on. The Geordie journals like to fight.
Geordie journals under pressure.
Geordie journals under pressure. You'll see what I'm really made of, yeah.
Like Newcastle in the second half.
Nice link. Right, what we're talking about, key players. Key players today.
Nick Pope.
Yeah, Nick Pope's got to be the top mark. I think 2 point-blank saves. Doesn't get much better than that. Actually dived the right way for the penalty as well. But Mbappe just put the right height on it to actually stop Nick Pope from getting it. So yeah, next to 4 marks for him today. Kept Newcastle in it because PSG had a lot of chances. And it just felt like it was going to be Newcastle's day because they'd wasted so many chances until that dodgy penalty decision. Second, I will go with. Who do I go with? I'll go with Miguel Almiron, but that's for his first half performance because I thought he was like a man possessed in the first half. A machine in many ways. The way he was high press, taking the ball forward, winning fouls. Even he had a role to play in the first goal as well with a shot saved. So he was relentless in that first half, but I think tired after the second half. I thought there was, in terms of halves of games that Miguel Almiron's played, I think it's probably one of his, probably his best in a black and white shirt. I thought he was outstanding. Third player, I don't know what else to go with.
Bruno maybe?
Yeah,
Bruno,
someone else chip in. I'm struggling.
Bruno, Livramento, I think Jamal Lascelles had a great game.
That's
Fabian Schär as well, obviously, but Jamal Lascelles I thought was a colossus at the back at times. Just won everything, confidence, dealt with Mbappe as well on more than one occasion. Which
at one at the end where he not only stops him, took it off him like sweets from a child, and then manages to draw the foul. It was just great. It was great game management.
The back heel performance from Jamal.
Back heel of Kylian Mbappe. Things you probably never thought you would see as a Newcastle United fan is Jamal Lascelles trying to in the first half, Kylian Mbappe trying to outpace him down the wing, Jamal Lascelles hoovering it up and back heeling back off him and winning a throw-in. Things I thought I would never see as a Newcastle United reporter and fan. Right. We had some technical difficulties when we finished up the Parc de France, so we've just come here with the beer, lads. We've got some criticism for having pops on the go the last video, so show the lads your beers. There we are. Right. Geordie Journos signing off from Paris. These guys behind us will be doing the press conference, Eddie Howe's pre-Manchester United press conference. That'll be coming up on Friday, and we'll all be involved on Saturday as well. So like, comment, share and subscribe. We're going to enjoy a beer here just to debrief after what has been quite an almost historic night in Paris, which I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come no matter what happens with Newcastle United this season in Europe. Cheers guys, thanks for watching.